Good evening, San Diego. I'm Chief Meteorologist Carlene Chavis, and thank you for tuning in for your CBS 8 Plus weather update. Well, we had sunshine today. We also still had some clouds that were rolling through and a lot more cloud cover by this weekend as we are talking about that incoming storm system. But it's just the calm before the storm. We're taking in the sunshine and even taking in some cloud cover as well. So we're seeing a little bit of a mix of that. So it was mostly cloudy to start off the morning with that marine layer, and then that revealed some upper level clouds. We're going to see more of those high clouds into tomorrow's forecast as we do have an incoming storm system. So this is the view this early evening from our Mount Soledad cam. When we look at tomorrow, starting off first thing in the morning, you're looking at widespread 40s when it comes to your overnight lows. 48 degrees, that's going to be for Escondido. The same for Poway, 48 for Jamul. You also have 50s out there. 50 degrees expected for Del Mar, the same for Miramar. 53 for downtown. 30s across the mountains, and got 50 degrees to start off your day for Borrego Springs. And then we get to temperatures that are going to be a little bit cooler than they were today, and that's because we're now in a downward trend. The peak of our heat with some low 70s across inland areas was on Wednesday. That's because we had that area of high pressure that was right over us. But you're going to see coming up next that it has shifted a little bit more towards the east, and so that's allowing a big dip in the jet stream and some cooler air to move in. So onshore flow is going to be picking up as a result and bringing temperatures down just a little bit more. So we're looking at widespread low 60s tomorrow when it comes to our daytime highs. 64 degrees for downtown, 61 degrees for Del Mar, 61 for Miramar, 62 degrees expected for Vista as well as for Fallbrook and for Ramona. And you have the 50s as well as the 40s across the mountains. So that dip in the jet stream, that's because we have a couple of areas of low pressure. One that's impacting the Pacific Northwest. It has been since yesterday. That's why we were talking about that winter storm warning across the Sierra, and that's with about 1 to 3 feet of snow. That has been bringing scattered showers and snow across Northern California, the Pacific Northwest. That low pressure system, well, that's not ours. It's the one right behind it. That one's the incoming storm system we're expecting this weekend. That is going to bring the rain, the mountain snow, also gusty winds, and we are talking about some cooler temperatures. So that area of high pressure, as mentioned, moving a little bit more towards the east. When it comes to our rain chances, 100% of seeing rain on Saturday. So Saturday is when we're expecting more of that moderate to heavy rainfall, and wait till you see some of these totals. This one is going to be a rainmaker for us here in San Diego County. We're still holding on to chances, high ones at that, by Sunday for more wet weather in the forecast, and then it slips a little bit more by Monday. That's because that low is going to be exiting out, but still with some lingering showers, especially for inland areas in the mountains, also inland valleys. Even could see a thunderstorm or two as that low does go towards the east, and then we dry out by the middle of the week. Ahead of that storm system, a flood watch has been issued by the National Weather Service from the coast all the way to the mountains. We're projecting 1 to 2 inches of rainfall west of the mountains for most areas, and then an upwards of 2 to 3 inches being possible for the mountains. So this will be a rainmaker, and a lot of that looks to be on Saturday. So a flood watch will go into effect early in the morning on Saturday, lasting all the way through Sunday evening. This low is going to also bring in the chance for snow. So snow, heavy at times, projections between 1 inch to 4 inches of snow across our mountains. That's with that snow level coming down to about 4,500 feet to about 5,500 feet. So that's going to be in the time frame of about Saturday afternoon into Sunday night. So that low snow level bringing in some slippery conditions on the roadways out there. And we are looking at this winter storm watch starting on Saturday afternoon, lasting through early Monday morning. Those aren't the only alerts. We also have a wind advisory that has been issued for the desert. That's because of gusts upwards of about 50 miles per hour expected, and that is going to be mainly on Saturday. Small craft advisory for boaters, seas building about 8 to 10 feet with gusty winds. This one, it's going to move in with a 1-2 punch. The first punch, that comes in the form of an atmospheric river. That's why we're talking about a flood watch. When we talk about atmospheric rivers, we talk about a lot of rainfall. We're talking about moderate to heavy rainfall at that. So flooding will be a concern, especially when you're looking at that flood watch, because you can see it's most areas west of the mountains, all areas, and then extending in towards the mountains. So it's dip in the jet stream picks up on that atmospheric river, sending a lot of that moisture in our direction. That second punch, as mentioned, a 1-2 punch, the low itself actually moves over us. So first, it's a dip in the jet stream that brings the atmospheric river in our direction, and then it's the actual low. And that's why we're still talking about rain in the forecast. It's looking to be more scattered showers and a chance for thunderstorms on Sunday, with the low actually moving closer towards us. That also drives down that snow level because it is a colder system bringing in some colder air and that chance for snow in our mountains. So that's why we're looking at that winter storm watch going all the way into the early morning hours, roughly around 6 a.m. when it's set to expire on Monday across the mountains. So the low doesn't exit out until we get into next week. And by Monday, we could see a lingering shower or two for the inland areas, as mentioned, inland valleys, foothills, also seeing that for the mountains. Then everything does exit out by about Tuesday, and we see some scattered showers across New Mexico as well as for Phoenix. I always stress that these totals are subject to change, but over the past couple of days, they've been pretty consistent with going from about 1 inch to 2 inches west of the mountains. We are talking about potentially seeing a little bit more than 1.5 inches for downtown. The same for El Cajon as well as for Chula Vista. Could see an upwards of 2 inches of rainfall when all is said and done, at least through about 5 p.m. on Sunday, and that would be for Fallbrook as well as for Escondido. This does look to be a rainmaker, so I know a lot of people have plans for this weekend. All I can tell you is maybe reconsider those plans if they were outdoors, and also just use caution. If you encounter a flooded roadway, you should not drive through it. You don't know how deep that water is going to be. The phrase goes, don't drown, turn around, or turn around, don't drown. I've heard it both ways, but I'm just saying, be careful. That's the moral of the story, especially when you're talking about an atmospheric river. We had a late start to the season, and now that's going a little bit longer than what was anticipated as we go into spring. We're looking at the wet weather in the forecast on Saturday. As mentioned, the low itself adding to that instability, bringing in a chance we could see some thunderstorm activity. That would be on Sunday, and then maybe a lingering isolated thunderstorm or two, some light showers by Monday. In the morning hours, everything dries out as we hit the middle of next week. We're right back to 70s when it comes to our daytime highs on Wednesday of next week west of the mountains. When you look at the mountains as well as the desert, much the same. So we're looking at widespread rainfall in the forecast for the desert. Desert could see an upwards of 1/2 inch of rainfall, and that would be this weekend. So the time frame I'm telling you when it comes to about 1 inch to 2 inches west of the mountains, that is Saturday and Sunday. Also talking about that 1/2 inch for the desert Saturday and Sunday when all is said and done with this storm system. Still seeing some lingering activity into Monday across the mountains, and then even the mountains right back into the 70s by Wednesday of next week. We will continue to keep you posted with any further updates with this storm system. If you have the CBS 8 app, if any additional alerts do go out by the National Weather Service, they would alert you right there on your phone. So we have that connected. Please be safe this weekend. Think about your plans, and I hope you have a great night.